There are more than 400,000 student athletes in the NCAA. Less than 1% will play sports professionally. Almost all of them will go pro in something other than sports. Many of these student athletes have not thought much about what they'll do after they graduate from college. They're not aware that the skills they've learned and honed as athletes are transferable to professional careers. Ed Holdaway is the Assistant Athletic Director of IUPUI. He has worked in the athletic department since 2001.
Everyone's going pro in something. It's not always playing your sport at the highest level. As I talk to student athletes about specifically is when they're going for a job, just having been a member of a team is really going to set them apart. You learn a lot of skills on a playing field and on a practice field that you can apply to real world scenarios.
Last summer, Giselle Guzman, a goalkeeper for the IUPUI soccer team, graduated from the Cadet Officer Program at the IU Police Department. By doing so, she went from stopping opponents to stopping crime.
Well, she joined our team in August of 2012. For me, her being a student athlete, she had already kind of come in with a positive work ethic and a demonstrated work ethic by being an athlete, and that made an immediate impression on me.
Has she ever thought about what she wanted to do outside of sports?
I thought of policing when I was in high school, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. I wake up, soccer. Right before I go to bed, soccer. Soccer went away tomorrow. Gosh, I didn't know what I would do in my life. And then I'm like, I'll just do exercise science because everyone's doing that. But then my advisor made me take this class called Career Paths. If it wasn't for that, I would have never went on like a job shadow at the police department.
While Gigi continued to grow as a soccer player, she took courses at the IU Police Academy. What skills did she learn on the soccer field that prepared her for her future career? Chris Johnson is the head coach of the IUPUI women's soccer team. He has been a collegiate head coach for 20 years and a 3-time Summit League Coach of the Year.
Gigi, when she first came, like I said, she was very quiet. When she came on her first recruiting visit, she didn't always say 2 or 3 words. She'd answer questions yes or no, but not much more than that. But you get out there on the field and put her between the posts, and she really livens up and comes to play. We have asked her to take on leadership roles within our team, to be a more vocal person out there during games, and to assume the mantle of responsibility that goes along with that. And I think that all those things will translate very well into her career as being a police officer.
The more we play with each other, the more we know what we want from each other. Communication, I think it's the biggest thing that translates with sports, with any job.
Well, one of the things, and to her credit, is she asked questions. If she doesn't know, she sat back and she observed and she learned, and then she immersed herself. But she has grown into this position tremendously. You know, at her young age and just the little amount of experience that she has, she doesn't know all the answers. And so then what's real important there is the ability to recognize that and then to ask myself or another officer for some direction or some guidance. And then as time goes on, she gets more and more confident in those skills and abilities.
Gigi is merely a representative example for thousands of current college student athletes. Jamie Farrell is a former IUPUI goalkeeper who now works as a sales manager for AT&T. She is another college athlete who found career success outside of sports.
Communication is definitely key. You're always playing on a team. You're always playing with other people. And how are you going to get along? How are you guys going to get through the times where maybe not everybody is on the same page? If you have any bumps along the way, how are you going to get through them as a team? So communication is key there.
How did they adopt the skills they learned as athletes in college to their current careers?
Soccer, they always have expectations for you and stuff. So same thing at work, like they expected you to like communicate with them. They expect you to get the job done, to be on time. I guess like the pressure comes from like kind of impressing people.
There is a high expectation that she delivers a level of professionalism, and her demeanor towards the public fit that.
The ability to handle and to still perform at a very high level under that type of pressure will definitely help her in her chosen career path of being a police officer.
Stress cope, I would say that there were times in my career here at IUPUI that we did have struggles. And if you don't have those failures, those struggles, you're not able to prevail. In our jobs, whatever it may be, that we're gonna have failures. How are we gonna learn from them? Do we have the desire that it takes to take us to the next level and to persevere? Because, you know, when it comes down to it, you're gonna have things that come up along the way that are gonna test you. So I'd say that's the one thing I learned that I was able to bring forth with me into the workforce and keep with me along the way.
You know, no pressure, no diamond.
To further explore how college student athletes cope with stress, we interviewed Dr. Rob Bell, a sports psychologist with 2 published books on the subject. Mental Toughness and The Hinge.
You know, pressure and stress, man, they're for everybody in life and in sports in general. Do you want to put yourself out there and be able to take opportunities and risks and challenges? That's a big part of that mental toughness. And how do you perform well under pressure is a huge part of that mental toughness, because we're all going to be in those situations. You know, people call them life skills. The skills that those athletes get, number one, never ever giving up. I'd just say it's like the dandelions, because dandelions have a taproot, so you can mow them as much as you want, they're going to keep popping up. It will not quit. It's, you know, it's really difficult to beat the person who would never give up.
If something doesn't go your way in the game or in school or in work, it's always, what can I do to fix it?
I think success is defined by the amount of times that you fail, I would say, because without failure, you don't appreciate the success. So I would say the times that you try.
You know, we're all going to fail. We're all going to get setbacks. But it's how do we deal with it, and can we, you know, even when we lose, can we not let it go to our heart? Can we just learn the lesson? So I say that a lot. I say, don't let winning go to your head, nor losing go to your heart. If it's about success and long-term development, then we've got to allow them to fail, because only when we fail does that success, when we really achieve it, does it then feel that much better.
Besides communication and stress coping ability, what are other abilities that college student athletes learn on playing fields that can be transferred to their later occupational success?
One thing that I think the student athletes have above most just normal students is that they have a very regimented schedule. Our players arrive here a couple weeks before most students do to campus, and they are practicing a couple times a day. And then when classes start, they have a very regimented schedule. We have about 16 hours a week of their time.
It's basically school, soccer, then my job at the police department. It is a tight schedule. I like being busy. I just don't like sitting around in the house. I started as a cadet officer, just dispatching twice a week.
Time management is probably one of the most important things. As an athlete, you have a lot on your plate, and all of those things come into play whenever you're in the workplace, whenever you're working with your friends, your family, and you learn all those things from playing sports.
It's a commitment to play in college. Employers will look and see that, hey, this kid is a 4-year varsity letter winner for the soccer team. That's quite a commitment, and it doesn't come down to wins and losses again. It's part of the participation, being a good teammate, being a leader, and just being there throughout the grind, both wins and losses.
The college athlete knows that it's their job to be successful. They are part of a team. They need to work together. They need to pull their own weight. And in this job, too, they recognize that. It's the combined individual efforts of everybody on the team that makes that team successful. When I met Giselle's parents, her mom and things, and I told her how proud I was of what the decisions that Giselle had made. I try and share with them her work ethic and her commitment, and all of those things contribute to her success.
Communication skills, stress coping ability, time management, commitment, and teamwork play significant roles in college student athletes' occupational success. Are there any other elements that can be transferred to their success in the workplace?
All of those things really do come into play when you play sports. People recognize that. Hiring an athlete should be at the top of everybody who is, looking for a great candidates list, because hiring an athlete is a great opportunity for any employer just because they have that work ethic.
Tear down the walls, 'cause I'm not afraid of me. Tear down the walls, 'cause I can trust all. I've seen so much in my little time without you. Tear down my heart and build it back up again. Tear down my heart from building these walls. I've seen so much in my little. It's funny how time can heal these wounds I've got in me.